Oh, is it happening? You gotta get a shot of everybody. Not like of the brown.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm just like trying to pick paint colors. So it's been like this for a while. So haven't decided yet. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, look. This is Nuby. That over there with the little bird shirt on. That's Kym.
Okay, you know this week. This how we gonna do already? Okay.
No. You're wearing a bird shirt. I want the
It is a Christmas bird.
Right.
The partridge. Okay.
Couldn't find a pair of trees, so she flew over
partridge.
here. But look, we're here with the incredible Anthony Anderson.
Yes.
Not only the creator, but also the director, the actor,
The producer, the writer.
Playwright.
Craft services sometimes.
Craft services.
It's a bunch of stuff.
The main man for Anacostia.
Yes.
This is him. So we know Anacostia is like one of your babies. You have plenty of babies. You have a lot of stuff that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into all of that. Kym, you wanted to talk about...
Before we jump in it, do not forget, this is the last week for our Christmas tree challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
The last week.
So
I have my tree
wow.
that I've decorated.
So the rules of the Christmas tree challenge is to decorate your own tree, not to buy a dollar store tree like this one he just picked up.
That wasn't from the dollar store.
Okay, so where was it from?
Family Dollar.
Okay.
There is a
Because it's $1.50 in there. So decorate your tree. Right. Post your tree, the tree that you decorated, not Macy's or Tyson's, online, and then we will vote and see who wins. So the winner will get a $25 gift certificate for yourself and $25 that we will donate to charity on your behalf. So December 17th is the last day.
December 17th is the last day. So all you gotta do is send a picture of yourself, either, tag me or tag Kym, tag our fan page in there. We'll take a look at it. The best 5 we're gonna choose from, and then we're gonna announce the winner on the 20th, on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we'll announce the winner.
We should get our guest to announce it. Who's our guest? Anthony Oakes.
No, he's...
Okay, so I don't know.
Days are off.
I'm sorry. And so our
calendar in front of us.
sorry.
Apparently,
And
some little bird gave the wrong
somebody's
message.
going to pick on the 20th. I'm so sorry.
Some little birdie got some wrong information.
Can't have that.
Okay.
Okay, so what else?
That's it because I'm messing up already. It's the drink.
Okay, you must have. Okay, so I will go ahead and say it because Kym just is nagging me about it. This is our first year anniversary.
This is our first year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So we're celebrating.
Absolutely.
So it's our first anniversary. We're happy. We're excited. We're celebrating. There's champagne in the fridge that I forgot to bring out and put on the table. But yeah, we're celebrating. So that I do justice.
You did
to
really
celebrate.
good. You did really good.
Okay, so we just let it go now.
We can let it go.
Okay, good. Okay.
So the man of the hour here, Anthony Anderson.
Yes.
Creator of the Anacostia series. He has drama, suspense,
He got it all.
comedy, laughter. This is my audition.
Serious moment.
Laughter.
Yeah.
Suspense.
What was that?
It was suspense.
Okay.
Y'all catch it.
Y'all
Y'all catch it.
No. Nobody called that. No. Kym trying to do her little dramatic moment. Like, go ahead, do it again, Kym, because I think.
Suspense.
What are you doing?
That's suspense.
Did you see it?
Yeah. I
see the
felt
eyebrow?
it.
Did you see the eyebrow?
I felt it.
You saw the bird chirp. That's what you felt.
Like that's what you call
What?
cut to commercial.
What?
The lead in. That's the lead into a commercial.
Yes.
Or the lead into the next episode.
There you go.
Yeah.
What?
Good.
Yes. Ha.
That's the pause face.
Oh.
And it's called pumping up your head. What we won't do. No.
And you know what we forgot to mention and star of? Because
Yeah, that's right.
you'll be doing some acting.
Oh,
Because
thank
we
you.
want to talk about
Oh,
some of the
yeah.
scenes. I need to talk about some of like that crying scene when he died, when Julian died.
Yeah,
No.
that like moved a lot of mountains and basically humbled somebody. And I almost went to church. I almost do that scene out a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer, we would have been there. But then we won. Is there one?
If that scene was a little bit longer, I had that tear was falling out. It was about, oh God, I felt that lash sticking together. Contact started.
It was coming. It was coming. It was
I
coming.
was on the
But you had to pull it back. You had to pull it back.
Pull it back because we went to commercial. I was like, hey.
You give it just a little bit. You give it just enough.
Just enough. But no, the whole Anacostia.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing series. And
Thank you.
Start from season 1 to season 4. You can see like a tremendous growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the perfection of everything.
Yeah.
Is, I mean, God, it's amazing. Okay, so what got you started?
Yeah.
Well, basically, what got me started was eventually, I started out wanting to be a hip hop dancer in the videos, in music videos. So that was my goal, was to get to dance in the videos for some reason. I don't know. But, and then I got my chance to dance in, DMX's video called Get It on the Floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was shot here in DC at Club 1223, years and years ago. And, we were dancing, shooting, and, they said to dress up like you would dress up like in a club. Mm-hmm. So I had like some slacks and some hard bottom shoes on. I mean, because I'm like, hey.
Right.
So they were like, well, that's not what we meant. Like we meant more like New York club. I was like, well, and so I was dancing on the table. The guy said I was scratching up the table. And so
your shoes.
With my hard bottom shoes. So he said, take the shoes off and dance in my socks. So I had like this little silk socks on. Right. And I fell off. I slipped off the table.
Okay.
And my knee
became a comedy.
Yeah, right. And like my knee hit the edge of the table and just like damaged my knee. And my knee swelled so bad that like you could see it like how swollen it was through my pants. And so they just propped me up with a drink. So if you look at I think it's like a minute and 20 seconds in that video, you can see me going like this, like just because like I guess that was my reward.
Right, it felt bad, right?
I was just like, yay. So that's what started it. And then my agent was like, well, okay, maybe I can direct you to something else. So, and then she was like, I'm gonna send you on some auditions for acting. And I started doing that and started booking things right away. And then, I was just like, I didn't like what I was booking. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh crap, I can just create my own stuff. So I just wrote my own stuff and that turned into a feature film. The feature film turned into an idea for another film, but then that turned into Anacostia somehow. So we just started with Anacostia like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So why Anacostia? Why not anywhere else in DC? I know people have asked you that. Why Anacostia?
Well, because I'm a native of Anacostia. I was born and raised in Anacostia. And when I was thinking about the show, I said I wanted a show that was going to grab the attention of the viewer and was going to have both a positive and negative connotation. Mm-hmm. But I wanted the name of the show to encompass everything that the show was about. Right. The drama, the suspense, the just reality of being African Americans in Washington, D.C., and no other place has that to me except Anacostia.
Right.
So I just felt like it really fit the scope of the show.
The whole scope of the show. Wow. So Anacostia has been 9 years.
9 years.
Now, before Anacostia, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also put out a magazine as well. Yeah.
So it was called Velocity Magazine. We put that out prior to that. And that was just a lot of work. It was just a lot of damn work. Yeah. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of like talking to people, meeting with people, like talking to people's managers and agents and trying to get them to do the magazine and trying to get them to do everything else. I was just like, I don't have time for this.
Right.
So there's an easier way. So I just like walked away from that and said, all right, let me put that to bed, and then just went into the whole entertainment thing a little bit more forthright, you know.
Now, do you ever see Anacostia becoming, I mean, like you have like your like Game of Thrones that's based off of a book. Mm-hmm. Anacostia is based off of just what you feel at the moment. Do you feel Anacostia, or do you see Anacostia taking that route of actually becoming like a book-like series where? Because it's a lot of drama.
It's so many stories and
there's a lot of drama. I think that I think eventually what we would like to do is like when it wraps up, it's like maybe to do like a one-off like short film like about it, or maybe like do like a retrospective to where everyone comes back and like do a no holds barred like interview about what it was like filming the show. Because I mean, we have had some challenges from just our own community, our own people saying that when they look at the show that that's not Anacostia, that's not the Anacostia that they know. And that wasn't something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to put a show together that was the quote unquote real Anacostia that you see on the news, that you see people hanging out on the corner, or I feel like the news media does that enough.
Yes.
And if you drive around Anacostia, you do run into very nice homes and townhomes, like in communities and stuff like that.
It's really evolved lately.
It really has. And so what I wanted to do was paint a really positive picture of Anacostia where the place isn't the problem, it's the people. And I think that's with everything. I think that's where any place that you live. It's not the place where you live, it's the people.
Right. It's definitely the people.
So the characters, because they're amazing. So did you create them in your head, or is it based off of some people that you know, or a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. Some of them are a combination of people that I've met along the way in life. Some of them have been some really diabolical and shady ass people. Y'all know y'all are. And then some of them have been like, I'm a huge fan of soap operas, and so like, you know, in every good soap opera, like you have to have your really good villain or your really good villainess, and then you have to have a protagonist, you have to have an antagonist. And our protagonist just happens to be Mia. Like I think out of everybody, I think that she's the one that everyone like really roots for. And it's like, oh, don't let nothing bad happen to Mia. And then you have the antagonists in people like Nancy, and people like Michael, and like some of the newer characters that are coming on now. So I just really felt like I wanted to have a equal mix of good and bad. But I think if people really look at the show, people aren't evil or bad for just any reason. It's like that's one thing I really love about the show, is that we take the time to delve into why a person is the way they are. And sometimes even the good people make bad decisions. And that is what life is. You could be the greatest person, but sometimes you could really make some really messed up decisions that have a fallout for everyone around you.
That's one thing I love about the show, is all the plots in it, all the plots and drama. It opens up the mind for critical thinking, to where it pushes you to think beyond the box or beyond the norm of, okay, this person did this and they just did it because they just that type of person. But no, there's a root cause for it.
Right.
And there's a root cause of one of the lead actors. Oh shoot, I can't remember her name, but she's the soap star actress. That
Martha Byrne.
Martha Byrne. Okay, thank you.
Martha
Byrne. We were just talking about Martha,
right? Yeah, but her character in there, you know, and one of the scenes in, I think when she shot herself, well, allegedly shot herself.
Allegedly shot herself.
But when she was in the hospital, we found out she has a son, and she's trying to protect her son, and there's reasons why she's protecting her son. But that opens up a lot of critical thinking to where you feel more compassionate for her character.
Right.
It draws compassion out of you. But it still keeps you like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm watching your ass.
Right. And I think that was one of the things that I'm glad that you brought that up, because that was one of the things that when I presented that script to Martha, she was like really happy to get that particular script, because she said, the fans now see why she is the way she is, because she was in a very like abusive relationship with her husband that was beating her, and then she wanted to take care of him, but she didn't have the strength to take care of him, so she just decided to leave, and she created this whole new life for herself to where she would never be under the thumb of any other man. And and she ended up winning an Emmy for
She did.
that
She
role.
did. Congratulations.
And so I was really proud at that moment because I felt a sense of pride because when you have someone of her caliber trusting you with not only her image but also trusting you with she's built up a huge reputation in this in that soap industry to where you don't want to make her look embarrassed or anything else. And so I was just grateful that she trusted that storyline and she trusted us so far with this show that she agrees to come on every year. And she gives great advice. I mean, she's a EP this season as well. And she just is one of those people that if I'm having a block, I can call her and say, hey, look, I'm thinking about this character and I'm thinking about, what do you think about this? And she's like, hey, this is what I think that you should do with that character, or you should scale back some. Less is more. Her main thing is less is more. You don't have to beat the audience over the head with your writing. Let the audience is smart. Let them in on just enough to where they can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And I thank her.
And boy,
I
do
thank
we
her
fill
for
in
that.
the blanks. Cause we sit there and we asking ourselves some questions like, what?
Background story about Anacostia. I used to work at an emergency animal hospital. And a good friend of mine, Kristen, she's probably watching now because she was my coworker. We work late nights, so we work till 6 o'clock in the morning. We got off 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So when it's late at night and nobody's around there and you ain't got no patients coming in, Anacostia was our fallback.
Oh, nice.
We would sit there, we would pull it up, and we would sit there in front of, we had big monitors in the animal hospital, so we sit there in front of the monitor and watch it the entire night. Phone me, ring them, be like, you think it's an emergency? I don't think so.
Because he is a big fan. Because let me tell you, we saw Anthony in a lobby in Baltimore for AFRAM. We were up there to work. And Nuby went into straight fan mode. He's like, oh my God, do you know who that is over there? Do you know who that is? Anthony Anderson. I was like, well, go say hi. I can't do it. I just go say hi to him.
No, I was going to say hi.
He is such a fan.
I was making my interviews and everything. He's like, okay, let's do it. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. I'm too nervous. No.
He was so nervous.
But no, it was just so, to see you on, being a fan of the series, and then also knowing how humble you are, which is
thank you.
a whole nother story. So it's somebody, when you see someone that's in a position of greatness, you're in a position of greatness. You're doing great things. You're doing things that a lot of people are trying to do. A lot of people are just starting to do, which we'll get into a little bit later. Your advice for them. So, but you're doing it. And you're humble. You haven't got on a high horse or haughty horse or anything like that. You're still humble and you're still grounded. So that I appreciate. And those are the things that take me over when I meet, a star or something like that, or someone that I consider a star for me. That takes me over when they can still be humble and still have that humility and still have that drawing spirit where they're pulling you in.
Because Anthony makes you feel like family. Because when everyone found out that you were nominated, we didn't know you personally. We just met you that day and just kind of went on about our business. I was crying when I was watching Emmy. Well, look at cousin Anthony up there on TV. Because he made it, Mama. He made it. We felt
it's. I hear that a lot from people. People will say, I'll run into people and people will say, well, I heard that a friend of theirs ran into me someplace and they're like, they can't believe how humble or how nice you are. That's all that I know how to be. It's like I'm not in a position, even if I was in a position of as they say, stardom, I always treat people the way I would like to be treated. And I would like to be treated with kindness and respect. And I treat people with kindness and respect. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if you're coming on the show. Excuse me. Doesn't matter if you're coming on the show just to do something small. Everyone gets treated the same way on the show. Right. And I thank you for thank you for recognizing that. But I just I've always told people that it's not me. It's like really like, I don't want to get spiritual on you guys, but it's like,
reel you back. No.
but it's like I just feel like every step that I have made has been guided by God, has been guided by like a higher power, because there have been times where we have had no money for the show, and we were coming into production, and I was worried about how are we going to film an entire season, and we have no money, and somehow it gets done.
Right.
And somehow it gets done. Like, I have worried about the reception of the show. How would a certain storyline be perceived? And it has been perceived with open arms. Okay. And the only thing that I tell people is whatever, and we can get into this later with the advice to people, but I tell people all the time, whatever is burning inside of you, but whatever that passion is that's burning inside of you, let it out. If it falls, it falls. There's a lesson in it falling. Take away that lesson and apply it to something else for it to succeed. And we've had some failures on this show, to where, but we look at those failures as a learning experience. We look at it as, all right, well, this is what we need to do better. Like, I've like the first 2 seasons, I completely hated I hated the look of the first season, but that was when we first started. Everything was on mini DV. So it was on film. It wasn't digital yet. Right. So I hated the first season. I said, all right, the first season, I didn't like the look of it. So let's step it up with the production on the second season. Second season, I wasn't crazy about the sound. I was like, all right, well, like, we need to start concentrating more on the sound. Second season, wasn't really crazy about everyone's performance. And so I just had to bring everybody together and say, hey, look, if we're going to do this and we're going to be serious about this, like, I need you guys to start, like, really, like, don't pick up your script the day or the morning that you're filming. Right. Because I can tell, like, when you're, like, I can tell, like, when you have just picked it up that morning. Right. And that pisses me off, like, in the worst way possible, because I feel like I've spent so many hours pining over a person's character and giving them great dialogue. And when they show up to the set, and then they're like, hold on one second, let me look at my script. Oh, yeah. That takes me from humble to Grinch in 0.3 seconds. Like, and as they can tell you, they like, there is nothing like an Anthony Anderson cuss out. There's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. And they will tell you there's nothing like an Anthony Anderson cuss out. So every season, the key is not to have Anthony cuss you out. like that's.
Well, I know what I want for Christmas.
What, Anthony Anderson cuss out?
Please.
Coming to the scene in you.
No. Yeah. But no, that's cool. So with everything that's going on, you have, I mean, when you felt that Emmy, I'll just talk about that. When you grabbed that Emmy, how did you feel?
Well, the Emmy was for Martha. Right. So it's like, so that
still fall out in the Anacostia umbrella.
Oh yeah, like this. As a matter of fact, I bought it for you guys.
Oh, wait a minute!
Like, I bought it for you guys.
We're the Emmy here.
You want to get it?
Please get it.
Let me just say this. Studio B has an Emmy.
Whatever.
Like it is your anniversary. It's your anniversary episode. So when you so when you win, so when your show or someone affiliated with your show wins, the Television Academy, they give the production that same Emmy. So if 5 people won an Emmy, the producer gets those 5 Emmys. Right. So and it comes in this little snazzy.
Oh my God! It comes in this little snazzy little box. Oh my God!
It comes in a snazzy little box.
Oh my God!
And it's extremely heavy.
Oh my God! I have an Emmy in my hand, people.
It's extremely heavy.
Feel it! Oh my God!
Look at this.
Oh my God!
It's extremely heavy.
I want to thank my mom. My daddy.
Play the music out.
Right.
Now I'm reclaiming my time. Not my watch. No, this is beautiful.
amazing.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so it's extremely heavy. It's a very majestic like trophy. So I keep it up
How about that?
like on top of the trophy case.
And so you
Like on
just
top of the
because
trophy
you
case.
have several and just was nominated for another trophy.
Yeah.
Or award, should I
Yeah.
say, because you're going to get the trophy. Were you sitting there right there? Wait a minute. Can you
might as well.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
The feeling was like
I'm sorry, just pay homage.
we actually the first year that we were nominated, well, the first year that we ever submitted was a humbling experience because we did not get the nomination like that very first year, and I was so devastated that first year like that we ever submitted that they allowed web shows to submit.
Right.
And they didn't have a category for us at that particular year. They just threw you in what was called short form media. And we didn't get the nomination. And I remember working, and I remember when the nominations came out and we didn't get it, Martha called me on the phone. And this is how great she is. Martha called me on the phone. She said, "Hey, listen, I want to tell you, I have been nominated. I have not been nominated. Don't let it detour you from what it is that you're going to do. You have a great show, and we'll just keep moving forward." The following year, I was so apprehensive about that particular incident about not being nominated that I was like, I'm not going to spend that money into getting submitted and to like not be nominated again. And something said, "Hey, why not just go ahead and throw it in there?" And so we submitted the show and we submitted Martha, and I felt that Martha would probably be nominated, but the show would probably be left out. And we were in Los Angeles for a different award show, and the phone started buzzing, and someone called me from New York and said, "Congratulations." I was like, "Well, what are you congratulating us for?" They was like, "Did you see that Martha is nominated for an Emmy for your show?" I was like, "Oh, well, that's wonderful. Let me call her." So I didn't even stay on the phone with him that long. I hung up the phone so I can call Martha to tell her congratulations. And so as I'm calling her to say congratulations, someone called me again and said, "How does it feel?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean, how does it feel?" They're like, "How does it feel to be nominated?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, because we're not nominated. Martha's nominated."
Right.
And they're like, "Have you seen the whole list?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen the whole." They said, "Well, you might want to go to the website and look at the whole list." And I went to the website, and when I saw that category, and the first name that was under that category was Anacostia, we screamed so loud in the mall that that security had to come and like run over to us and like ask, was everything okay? So it was an amazing experience, and like even this year being nominated this year, wasn't expecting it. And then when someone posted on my Facebook page said, "Well, look at you, congratulations," and I thought it was for the show, and I didn't know that it was just for my lead actor performance, and I was like, I don't know how to feel about this. And I just immediately was at work and just started crying because you just feel a certain level of pride in yourself.
Yeah.
That like something that you did was seen by your peers and that they enjoyed it enough to want to recognize you in that manner. So I'm still kind of thrown by that situation.
Look, I'm thrown by the entire thing because one, you got this, and I love that. I love the fact that
I do too. I'm scared to keep staring at him.
I keep looking at her on my side. Like, hey, girl. You sing?
What's up, boo?
I'll switch.
No, I'll switch.
Wait a minute.
But no, the scene that you did where you cried.
I'm telling you.
I had to show Kym that, and I was like, "Kym,"
because he was like, "No, don't tell me. No, don't tell me."
He was like, "No,
Let me
you
reenact
go back
it.
there.
No, you go right and get him. Get him.
I'm looking at it. I'm like getting all troubled in my spirit.
He was troubled.
Troubled in my spirit.
Because I looked at him, I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "I'm okay. I'm okay."
That's called the prayer word. Well, y'all
Not the prayer warriors. Not the prayer
y'all gotta pray
warriors.
for this baby. Y'all gotta pray for him. He got bad news.
Not the prayer.
But
not the
look,
prayer
it
warriors.
was like, I mean, the entire series, every single plot. I mean, I'm for it all. I sit there and I'm like, oh God, and then when it's over, I'm like, son of a bitch.
That's some kind of shows you like, God
yeah.
damn it, gotta wait for the next.
When you gotta wait for the next one, it's like,
really, like really.
What's going to be a lot of that? That particular scene that you're talking about is when we came back from season 3, the opening of season 4,
Yes,
when we had like a gay marriage storyline in season 3, and we wanted to deal with the whole church versus homosexuality storyline, and that we had someone that was very anti-gay marriage, that took it a little too far on the day of the marriage, and as a result, my husband at the time, on our wedding day, right after I do's, this person blows up the church.
Right.
And as a result, my husband, I found out later in that particular scene that my husband Julian died in that particular episode, and that was a hard episode to do because I struggled with. You never want to get rid of a character,
right?
And so I struggled with, should I kill this character off? And then there was talks about, all right, well, what I could do is, because part of his fear in season 3 was Julian had not always been gay.
Right.
So like he had dated women. And so part of the storyline, I'm giving you some behind the scenes stuff of what was talked about. Part of the storyline was there was a character named Madison that sort of had the hots for him. So part of the idea was to sort of have him have amnesia, and make him and have him have retrograde amnesia to where he went back to where he thought he was straight.
Right.
And so he didn't recognize his relationship, didn't recognize this marriage, he didn't recognize his partner or anything else. And so I thought about that, but then I was like, I really need the totality of this explosion to be felt by the audience, and the only way to do that would be to take away one of the likable characters, and that turned out to be Julian, and it turned out to be like one of the really like pinpoint moments of the show.
Yeah, it was.
But see, it was so cool. See, I love your show because you're one of those shows that I need to talk to the TV, because I'm like, well, where is he? Is he alive? But I was like, wait a minute, watch. And then he walked across. I said, what church is he in? And then, wait a minute, the choir director had us cracking up, because then it went straight comedy. He was like, do not interrupt me. I was like, wait a minute. So one of those shows that you could talk to, that's why you keep getting these Emmys.
Yeah, that's just like I think this season 5. I don't even know what the reaction is going to be to this particular season, because it just goes, it goes left very quick.
What?
Like it goes left,
Lord.
from the opening from the opening episode. So the show comes back on December 26th.
December 26th. I got it.
So it's gonna be 6 days of Anacostia. So we have 6 episodes that we filmed, and it's for each day there's gonna be an episode of Anacostia leading towards December 31st. And so it's gonna be so that's gonna be like 6 days of Anacostia.
Okay, is there gonna be a viewing party?
We are actually having our very first holiday wrap party on December 22nd. So like you guys are definitely more than invited.
Okay.
And I think like from that first episode we have it sets up the story for the rest of the season. And like last season my character unfortunately was the victim of a sexual assault.
Right.
And the person who did it, is hiding in plain sight, and he took something very valuable to me, which he has also now put in plain sight. And so I think that that's going to be the tension building. Like when will my character run into this person who has this trinket in plain sight? And when we filmed that, like, it was everything that I wanted it to be. And so I think this season we have some incredible guest stars. We have Judy Blair, who was on Tyler Perry's Like Loving You Is Wrong. We had Dee Freeman, who I've known Dee Freeman for like a little while, and Dee struck a chord in me because Dee did this episode of Dexter where she was just phenomenal. And when I saw her in Dexter, I was like, I need to have Dee on my show. And then our main guest star is Jennifer Bassey, who for all my children fans, who will remember her as Marion Colby, the very first cougar on television, who was sleeping with her daughter's boyfriend Tad on All My Children.
So that's what Anacostia reminds me of. Anacostia reminds me of like the old school soap operas, like when we were growing up.
You run home after school
and then and
watch it.
Old school soap operas was like this. If you had the day off, because you didn't have DVRs back then, you had the day off of school, your mama would call you from work and be like, what happened? And you had to tell her line by line what happened. And if you missed something out because a good girlfriend told her, if you missed something out, you got a whooping when she got home. Because you ain't giving her all the information because your only job.
I was like, what?
Your only job. That was your job. Your only job was to reiterate what happened. But no, Anacostia is so full, and it's like that. It's like the old school soap operas that had you tied in and pulled in, and
makes you talk to the TV.
Everything was shut down.
Yes.
For that, everything was shut down for the guiding light. For
As the World Turns.
As the World Turns. And all of those old ones.
Yeah.
Everything was shut down. But the entire house, you couldn't run around the house and nothing. If you tried to play or somebody, you better get your ass out of here. What are you doing? The TV, you couldn't sit in front of the TV, don't walk in front of the TV during that hour because they were watching the soap operas. And that's what Anacostia reminds me of.
I appreciate that.
It reminds me of that.
I do appreciate that.
We have a question.
You have a question?
The first comment is a suggestion by Bernadette Dare, and she said, how about a deja vu, or he comes back in spirit rather than remove his character altogether?
That actually is, see, you are a season ahead of us, Bernadette. You are a season ahead of us, Bernadette. It's not his character that's sort of going to come back in like a deja vu, but it's somebody, but once you see this season, something tragic happens to someone's character fairly early on. And you'll see the aftermath next season. And that was something that, like, that particular setup for that particular scene was wonderful. But we actually thought about that too. We actually, we sort of thought about it, but we had so many people who had been dead and then they sort of came back to life.
Right.
And Julian had been previously thought dead, but then he came back to life again. So we were like, okay, let's see about keeping him dead for like a minute. Let's see about keeping him dead for a minute. We might be going to that well a little too many times. But thank you for that question. But that is actually something that's happening next season in season 6 with somebody else, and you'll see when that happens. You'll know who it is once you see, I think, episode 7. At the end of episode 7.
Keep watching, Bernadette. We have another question.
Yes, I have a comment and a question. The first comment is for you with Kym and Nuby. Your fans are laughing because your alarm went off. They're cracking up. And the next question is from Joseph Goncalves. Firstly, you're an inspiration. 2 questions. What is your writing process before starting a season? Who was your favorite character to write for?
You gonna get me killed, Joseph. The writing process is I actually, as hard as it is, I actually have to look back at all the other seasons because to me continuity is very important. So I have to look back at all of the other seasons to see if a particular storyline was left out, like it was wrapped up properly, if there's room for bringing an old character back, which actually 2 old characters from season 1 and 2 re-emerge in this particular in these 6 episodes that's coming back, and it's gonna be a surprise. Like the one of them come back at the very season finale at the close of the season. But so like that would be the writing process. Like I actually have to physically look at every single episode to see where my characters are, to make sure that what I'm writing for them in the current season matches what they've done in the past.
Yeah, that's good.
And the second question, who is the favorite character to write for? My favorite character to write for is a two-pronged answer. One, my favorite character to write for is Dominique, who plays the pimp, because it is so not Pasha Diallo's character.
Okay.
Like she is completely opposite from that character. So I like sort of I like sort of giving her those.
Taking her out of her.
I like taking them out, and then I also like writing for Will Lash's character Scott, because Will, who came from I Love New York, Will is so straight-laced that he has a hard time saying cuss words. So I purposely write things for him that's going to sort of like to stick him a little bit. Yeah, so I have to like
you could coach him. You could coach him.
So those two characters, and I think this season, probably I really liked what I wrote for the Selena character, and I really like what I wrote for the Jennifer Bassey character who plays Beverly. I really like that, because that actually, like when she was going through the scenes, like I was actually on the ground looking at the script, and I welled up with tears, and tears were dropping out of my eyes, falling on the paper. And like, that's when you know, like, it's like really good stuff. So yeah, so those would be that. There was another one.
We have another question?
Yes. This is from Lisa Washington. Love you, Anthony.
Oh, thank you.
Did you consider another topic for a web series before Anacostia, and what was the title?
Y'all be getting him in trouble for real.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, the first title I had for Anacostia was, no lie, was The Farms, as in Berry Farms.
Berry Farms. Oh.
Like it was called, like the very first title that was on the first script was called The Farms. And because people don't call Berry Farms Berry Farms, they call it The Farms. And so I was going to do that, but then I was like, the sort of setups I had for the show wasn't really in Berry Farms.
Yeah.
So I was like, people are going to be like, those houses are not in Berry Farms.
They sure right.
So,
right.
So that is what was, so that was probably what was in that first title, was The Farms.
The Farms.
Yeah.
So okay, question for you. What keeps you so humble in the industry and in what you're doing? What keeps you so humble, and what advice would you have for someone out there that's just getting started?
I think what keeps me humble is the fact that that's all that I know how to be, is humble. I come from a single parent household. My mom is my greatest inspiration. I learned my work ethic from watching my mom. Like, I know when I was in kindergarten, I remember looking out the window and seeing my mom leave out in the morning to see my mom leave out in the morning to go to work, and then not seeing my mom again until late at night, because she had 2 jobs.
Right.
And I always tell people that, like, I am a reflection of who raised me. Like, I'm a reflection of my mom. I mean, I didn't get into soap operas until my mom showed me General Hospital for the very first time. And so everything that I am, everything that I do is a reflection of her upbringing, her teachings, her tutelage. And then your second question was what?
The second question was, what advice would you give to anyone?
The advice I would give to anyone is just do it. There's so many people that's going to tell you that you can't do it, that you shouldn't do it, that no one's going to like it. There's people that's going to be in your own camp that's going to tell you something that you do sucks, that it's not a place for it. You can't listen to those people, because ultimately it's your road to walk. It's your walk to walk. And what I've learned is that when it's successful, everyone wants to raise their hand to it. But when it fails, everyone steps away from it and they just leave you.
And they'll point the finger.
And so you have to lead your own life. You have to lead your own destiny. You got to be the person that is your biggest champion. You got to be your biggest supporter. You've got to know that not everybody that is in your corner is in your corner.
That's right.
And that's what you have to realize. And you have to be okay with that. You have to accept that. And so that would be my greatest, and that would be my inspiration. And something that Martha Byrne told me is to clear the static. And it's to clear the static in your head, because so many outside influences will get into your head and mess things up that it'll detour you from what you have to do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like this season, I'm gonna tell y'all, because this is y'all 1 year anniversary, I would tell y'all, like a couple of weeks ago, I was laid off in probably mid-August. And I said, I struggled because I was like, all right, well, how are we going to do this show now? Like we're going into production. I don't have a job. I'm collecting unemployment.
Right.
I don't know how to do, I don't know if we're going to be able to do the season, but I laid down and I went to sleep and I said, God, whatever it is you want me to do, wake me up tomorrow and have an answer for me. And when I woke up that next morning, I got an email saying that, hey, this is how much your unemployment check is going to be. It ain't a lot, but at least I can pay bills, and at least I can eat at home, and at least my kid can be fed. So I said, screw this. This is nothing but the devil putting up an obstacle in front of me to not do the show this season. So I told everybody, hey, screw what's going on with me. We gonna get the show done.
Right.
And that's what we did.
I know that's right.
That's what we did.
Oh Lord, this is okay. So okay. No, because we gotta recollect ourselves. Because Lord Jesus, I'm about to cry. That is from his mama to that story.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go back. Let me go back to the Emmy and get myself together. So when you walked on the red carpet,
Oh yeah.
how did you feel?
All right. So the first year we were nominated, the first year we were nominated, it was chaos because they didn't do, so like there's two ceremonies. So there's what they call the craft ceremony, which is with all of the craft people, like the hair, makeup, talk shows, stuff like that. And so those ceremonies are usually done the Friday before the Sunday of the main show. And they usually, and that year, the first year that we were nominated, they did it in they did it at a hotel in North Hollywood. And when we got there, the red carpet was in the lobby. It was so chaotic that by the time we got to the red carpet, they shut the red carpet down. It was like, everybody go to your seats. So we didn't get an opportunity to be like on the red carpet the first year. The second year that we were nominated, the third year we were nominated this year, it was in Pasadena. And they said, we are going to give the creative people the same treatment that we give to the main show. And when me and my best friend Laura, who is the makeup artist on Anacostia, when we pulled up to the red carpet, it was outside the Pasadena Civic Auditorium. They had the red carpet out there. They had all this press and media.
Everything, yeah.
And I immediately started sweating under my arms. Like, wait a minute. This is not what is going on. What is going on here? Like, they didn't tell us it was going to be like this. And because I was a presenter that year,
right,
you had to get there early. And I met Lonnie Love. I've met all these like incredible people backstage. And what I found interesting was everybody was nervous. Everyone was nervous. And they walk you through what you're supposed to do. And then they tell you, hey, go and get on the red carpet. And we got on the red carpet. And it was the most surrealist feeling that I felt, like walking up to journalists from Germany and England and Australia and them talking to me about the show. And it was just a really surreal moment. And when I got into the theater, I actually presented the categories just before my category popped up. And so I was backstage. Waiting, and when they presented my category, I just felt a sense of calm come over me. Like, it's okay if I don't win, and I didn't. But I was like, I will never forget. Blair Underwood was backstage, and when that category was over, and they walked me back to the back. Blair was standing there, and Blair Underwood turned around and he said, "Hey, man, I want to tell you that like your work is like amazing."
Wow.
And I was like looking at him like,
you Blair Underwood, right?
Like this literally was my face looking at Blair Underwood like, okay. Thank you. And I walked away, and I said to and I said to a rep from the academy, I was like, Blair Underwood just spoke to me, and I was sitting one seat behind Blair in the audience. I was like, that's Blair Underwood. That's Blair Underwood. I'm sitting one seat behind Blair Underwood, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing so many people from soap operas and stuff like that, and it just, I feel as though when you have great intentions and you are a good person, God blesses you. And and for those people who don't really want to hear spirituality and stuff like that, I just have to say, I'm not a person who goes to church every Sunday or stuff like that, but I have to say that I feel as though everything that has happened to me has been from a divine power, has been from God. And just writing this show, 50 episodes, just constantly getting the show done, and it's not me. It's not. It is not. It's not me, and I acknowledge that it is a higher power. And at this point, I just sit back and relax, and wherever we need to go, whatever accolades we get, whatever opportunities that come out of that, I just say, if it's meant to be, it was already predestined, and I'm just here for the ride. Just like we were talking about earlier, City Boys, it's just something that just sort of fell out the air. So you know.
So what would you? This is a twofold. I'm gonna answer the first half of it because I know how you're going to do. So what would you tell the 12-year-old Anthony?
The 12-year-old Anthony. The 12-year-old Anthony. I would tell the 12-year-old Anthony is to not listen to the people who made fun of his stutter, to not listen to the people who made fun that his voice wasn't as masculine or as deep as everybody else's, not to take it serious that I was always one of those kids in gym it was always me and the kid who had disability that in gym that when you had the teams and they would pick between the two people, and it was a actual debate if you were going to pick Anthony or the kid with this disability. And
I do want to ask you.
No, it's true.
What school did you go to? Because
I went to Savoy.
I
went to Savoy Elementary School, and I was always one of the last kids picked in gym because I wasn't very athletic. But and then when someone would pick the kid, sometimes with the disability, the other team would be pissed off and be like, ah. We gotta get Anthony. They got me. I was like, well, I was like, but payback is a bitch because I ran into some of those people. I ran into some of those people recently.
Okay, what?
Yes,
I may not have been good in sports, but I was good at other things.
How about that?
So that's all I gotta say. And that's how I tell my son now. My son didn't get on the basketball team, but I said, "Hey, you're probably the only person on the basketball team that got all B's and one C's on his report card. So as long as this stays good, you don't have to worry about anything else. It all fall in place."
That is right.
So did you ask them?
I know what you're asking. Yeah, 12-year-old self.
Okay, that's what you would tell your 12-year-old self. What would your 12-year-old self tell you?
Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Probably thank you.
That is beautiful.
That is cool.
Thank you for not allowing all that to live in your head and to just be the average and just say, I'm not going to follow my dreams or anything else. So, yeah. So that's why I tell my kid, like, hey, do it. Do it. I tell my kid, whatever you want to do, I support you. Like, if it doesn't make sense, we'll figure out that it don't make sense, like, eventually. Right. But if you want to be a clown in a damn circus, you go be the best damn clown that you can be. I'm going to be in the first row cheering you on. Go ahead, Rockman. Go ahead. That's my son. That's the clown right there.
You wear that red nose.
Like he's messing it up. He's messing it up. But he is living his dream.
That's
why I tell people,
right.
like you guys had Keith on the show, like last week, I think, and I loved it, like, because Keith is one of my favorite people.
He is.
Like, Keith Angelo is one of my favorite people. I love Keith.
Really cool, amazing, humble guy. Very quiet.
He is very cool. Y'all start talking about them damn beads.
Oh yeah.
Until he starts drinking.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He's a little chatty.
That's some city boys people. He is a chatty Cathy, trust me. Chatty Cathy. That's what Keith is, chatty Cathy. You get a few drinks in him, you can't shut his ass up.
Like it's Chopper. Okay.
Him and Monroe. Like, and Magical.
So
City Boys is that's in production.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's in production. That'll be out sometime soon. And Anthony will let us know and let the world know when we can have City Boys out.
Yeah, in 2018, I signed a production deal with a production company out in Los Angeles they wanted Anacostia, but I was like, you can't have Anacostia right now. Mm-hmm. So they was like, all right, well, what else do you have? So I told them about City Boys, and we signed a production deal for City Boys, and everything was good until they started wanting to make changes for them. And when you start doing that, it's no longer my vision.
Yeah.
So I said, well, we can't do XYZ. And so right now I have them sort of on ice, sort of saying, all right, well, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it my way. Because ultimately you guys came to me.
Right.
And whether you want to do the deal or not, I'm still going to be where I need to be. And so right now we're still going through the process of getting that out and done. And I think that I know for a fact that it's going to go to a television network.
Oh yeah, it'll go to a television
network. And it's going to be a show that nobody's going to be ready for.
I would say, of course.
Nobody's ready for nobody's ready for that group of guys. No, and ladies. No one is ready for that group. There is nothing like it on television. And that's why I know it's going to go to television, because there's nothing like it. I mean, Housewives of Atlanta doesn't compare to what's going on with them, and like to all those haters that got so much to say about the show, and it's been taking so long to happen. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's true.
But when it was, everybody goes to see it.
Okay. So, because you gave him some great advice. So is that more advice that you would give an up and coming writer to hold your ground?
Yeah, just you have to. What happens is these people come in and they think that because they come in and they're giving you what they feel like you wanted all your life, they feel like that you are going to roll over and just do whatever they tell you to do. You don't have to do that.
Right.
The power is when they have come to you, you have something they want.
Right.
Yeah.
You have something they want. You have to recognize that you have something they want. Now, they can either keep it, they can either take it or leave it. Now, but what you don't do is you don't cater to every single thing that they tell you to do, because it then becomes not your show. It becomes their show. It becomes their vision, and your vision in it gets lost. And I don't want my vision to get lost, because these individuals on City Boys trusted me with some very intimate details of their life. And I don't want to betray that trust
Right.
for the sake of $1.
For the sake of
Like I think some people would just instantly say, "Hey, whatever y'all want to do with the show, if you all want to kick these people off and bring some more people on, you go ahead and do that." I'm not that type of person because I'm the type of person who believes in karma.
Right.
And I feel like if you trust me with your most intimate secrets, your most intimate details that you've not even told your family, I'm not going to go to a producer in LA and say, "Well, this is what's going on with Bernard. Take it and run with it.
Right.
Give me my check and I'm going to go live happily ever after."
Right.
So I'm more hands-on of a producer. And if you are working with me, my job is to protect you.
That's a sign of a good man.
Entirely.
That is a
Thank
sign of a good man. That's a sign of somebody with integrity and somebody with morals and somebody that got your back. So if you are, if you're watching this, everybody should be watching it already. So I'm speaking to everybody. But no, if you're watching this, take note. If you want to go into acting, if you want to go into being a director or being a producer or owning your own, take note. Know yourself.
Right.
Mhm.
Know your value.
Right.
Know your worth. Know your word. What did you put out there?
Don't sell yourself.
Don't sell
literally.
yourself. Don't
Right.
settle for short. Because what happens when you don't settle?
Mm-hmm. Ta-da.
These are people.
Yeah.
So when you don't settle, there are times when I'm sure you've seen it where things were totally dark. You already told us about some dark moments. But then light shined the next day.
Yeah.
Or something else opened up. Something else different opened up. When you have a purpose, there's a power in having a purpose and being in your purpose. You're in your purpose.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you for that. We
We
applaud
do.
you
Thank
for
you.
that because
Thank you.
a
I
lot of people
appreciate
are not. But you're in your purpose, and it's showing. It shows
you.
in what's coming out of it.
Thank
As
you.
far as the quality of the product that you're giving.
Mhm.
Anacostia is, if I could say it, and this would probably help your character out with cussing, fucking amazing.
God
you.
damn it.
But no,
And I do
it's
want to say
amazing.
really quick, I do want to give some shout outs to some people
Yeah.
that really made this season happen. Like I want to give a shout out to Ben Bryant and Tommy Zamberlin of the Bryant Zamberlin group that came in financially to influx us with money.
Hey.
Because that's always a good thing when
Yes,
you
it is.
can have have
Yes,
a
it
sponsor
is.
that
When you got a
can
sponsor?
actually say, "Hey, I believe in what you're doing, so we're going to give you some money." And no, the rest of y'all cannot go and ask them for money because they are locked up.
I know that's right.
And then of course, once again back to God. I saw a reel last year from this cinematographer. And I said, "Oh my God, this guy's stuff is so amazing. He has such a great eye, and everything that he was doing was so brilliant." And I looked him up, and his contact information said that he lived in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So I was like, "Oh shit, he's in Fredericksburg, Virginia. There's no way. I'm not even going to talk to him about anything because he lives in Fredericksburg." And that was last year. Next thing you know, this year comes. And one of our actors calls me and he says, "Hey, I'm working on this movie with this young guy. He's amazing. I told him about Anacostia and he was wondering if there's room for him to come and work on Anacostia as a cinematographer." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm interviewing people. So tell me who it is." And he said, "Well, I don't know, because he's in Fredericksburg, Virginia." And I'm like,
Right.
I said, "What? He's where?" He's like, "Yeah, he lives in Fredericksburg, Virginia." I'm like, "What is his name?" And he was like, "His name is Jake." I was like, "Oh, hell no." I was like, this is not the same guy who's real I saw last year and who wanted to hire him last year, but I just felt like he was so far out of DC. I was like, it couldn't be the same person. He was like, "Yeah, go to his page." Went to his page, it was the same person. I said, "Put that sucker on the phone with me today." Put him on the phone with me today. He got on the phone with me an hour later. We talked and I was telling him, "Hey, I saw your reel like a year ago. And I really enjoyed it. And I said, I would want to work with you." And he's like, "Well, it just so happens I'm free when you want to shoot this show."
Look at that.
And he came on, and I think when people see these 6 episodes, they're going to see a dramatic difference because Jake Simpson is an amazing cinematographer, young, hungry, fresh, bright ideas, very bright, very, very smart, very, very cognizant of what's going on. And it's not above him to take his shoes off and be running in the woods with you, like with his shoes off. And like he had, and like when we had our guest star there, funny story, we had our guest star there and he had on some track pants. And when he was moving with the camera, the track pants were making noise. So he said to our guest star, he said, I don't want to alarm you, but every time I move, my track pants are making noise and we can hear it in the microphone. So I'm going to take my track pants off.
Wow.
And he said, "Are you okay with that?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, baby." She said, "Oh yeah, baby." Like our guest star, like Jennifer Bassey was amazing. She was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, take them off." and he took his track pants off and he filmed that scene. He's very dedicated. He's just he's on it. He's like he's on it, and he's all about what it looks like, what you look like. And I think this is his first time working on a predominantly African American show. So he's learned like a lot of things about like lighting, like you can't light us the same way you light Caucasians. And so, yeah, so that's what that is.
Right.
That is amazing.
So shout out to Jake.
Shout out to Jake. So what else we got to talk to him about?
I will talk to him about a lot of things, but we can't hold him. So we want to give you something.
Yeah,
okay.
Because you allowed us to hold the Emmy.
Oh, come on. Oh, this is nice.
We always give out gifts. You can open it now.
Oh, this is nice. Look, this is the last thing. Okay,
that's actually not for you. That is for Emmy. That's for her.
That's for her.
Trust me, we are going to the same place. We are going to the same place. But I just want to say to you, I don't say to you guys, and also to your crew, also that this is important to us in this area, to like Keith and to some of us up and coming. I'm a huge supporter of the artists in the DMV area. Like I don't know if you guys have heard about Malik Davaj. He's a singer.
Yes.
You guys should have him on the show.
Absolutely, we
will. And like Eastman. Like I am a huge supporter of like the talent that's in this area, and we don't always get the avenues to do interviews with the so-called mainstream press because we're not mainstream enough. And so this is so important what you guys are doing, and congratulations on your 1 year anniversary to have been doing this for like a year. I don't think you guys really realize how much this is needed for us to be able to come and have a venue to where we can talk about our product and to push our product and to have it with people that are in our area and that actually support us and not just doing it because it's a good story to tell. And I really, really want to thank you guys for like doing that for all of us in this area.
We thank you. We thank everybody in the area. Our goal is to push you.
Yeah, it's all about you. It's all about it. Yeah.
Because and we try and like target certain people that we want to interview, and not because you may be doing great or this, that, the other, but we look at what is this individual doing to give back? What is this individual doing to reach back, pull somebody else forward? We see that with you. We see that with so many others that we've interviewed and we've talked to. And that's one of our passions. That's our purpose. And we're comfortable with it.
It was the main purpose because some of you know that we did start mainstream. Matter of fact, I was doing music interviews and we needed a cameraman. Our cameraman got sick and I called him in. And then they kind of liked him. And what we were doing behind the scenes kind of said, you all need to do your own thing. And so when we saw how we came across a lot of nice people in the mainstream, but there were a lot of issues that we didn't feel comfortable with. And we said, there's so many incredible independent artists that are not getting heard. Let's talk to them first, because like you said, the mainstream, they're getting their voice out, but these amazing artists aren't, and people need to know about that. So that's why we started it. And like Bernard said, it's all about you. We have no agenda. It's just all about just getting you
that's
all out.
what, and that's what, when you first asked me to do it, like even in Baltimore, like I was like, yeah, just let me know. Just let me know. Just keep me like abreast of like when and where.
Yeah.
But actually, you guys should talk to DCTV. So we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that.
Okay, so look, he has his gift.
He did.
Yeah.
He brought Emmy, which is a
You
gift
forgot
for
the
us.
other. You forgot the other gift.
We didn't forget the other
This
gift.
is nice.
It's another. Oh, you didn't forget it. Oh, we gonna do it.
I'll turn this up in the car. But no, I won't. No, I won't.
Yeah, because we don't believe in drinking and driving.
We don't believe in drinking and driving.
One of our sponsors, my mother, don't like that.
Like it'll be just my luck.
Right.
Okay, so for
Oh, that's right. We didn't forget it.
we're not done yet. So
Okay, we're not done.
this is a gift that we have for
We do.
the Anacostia family. So I will go ahead and pull it over
I
here.
forgot.
This is for Anacostia.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's the gift wrap. No, it's not.
Congratulations on coming back for your scene.
No, it's
December
not.
26th,
December 26th. What's the real gift?
Series 5 or what?
season 5.
Season 5.
December 26th. Congratulations, you guys. Welcome back.
That's the gift.
Y'all gonna have to do champagne shots. Because
And it's cordon negro. It's cordon negro. Brute. This get you twisted too. This get you real
I should
twisted.
just make mimosas.
This the cordon negro. It's black. Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yes, that one was top shelf.
I like that one.
You know what?
I would have got Andre, but that was on the bottom shelf, and I was like,
Could have
no,
been down.
they
I think
passed
we
the
can
first
go.
we gotta
We had to go up.
We
4 levels up.
We reached up for the Lord. We reached for Jesus. And we brought down the brute. So, no,
You
congratulations.
covering
Thank
the
you.
Emmy.
Oh,
This guy last time to get it on camera.
See, I could throw the tree down because
Oh God.
Damn it, kick
it was
that tree
expensive.
off.
From Family Dollar.
Lord have mercy.
Anyway, look. This is Nuby. That's Kym. This is Anthony. This is the
Emmy.
Oh, can you see her?
You going left her
I
again?
gotta give her. I gotta give her props. I'm nervous too.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
I
you.
cannot thank you enough.
Anacostia,
Thank you so much.
December
Anacostia,
26th.
December 26th. Tune in.
YouTube.com.
There you go.
Anacostia.
Okay, so this is a good question. What time are you gonna release the video?
Well, we're not telling anybody. So
Oh.
what we have to do, we're gonna do it like a Beyonce thing, so you don't know when it's coming. But if you go to youtube.com, www.youtube.com/ANACOSTIASERIES, subscribe to the channel. As soon as it's posted, you will actually know when the show posts. It's going to post December 26th, the day after Christmas. It may post first thing like in the morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., but it's going to be sitting there waiting for you guys to enjoy during your holiday break. I think you guys are going to like it. I want to thank my cast for being so understanding when I had to cut some of y'all out this season. And I just want to thank the fans that have, and the supporters of Anacostia since 2009. Like you guys, without you guys, we would not have a show. And that's why we do the show. It's for you guys. So thank you guys for riding or dying with us for the last 9 years.
Wow.
And we got one more year to go.
That's all right.
Season 6 might be
Ooh.
the last year.
Okay, you got
Thinking-
to DVD if you're gonna do that.
Season 6 looks like it's,
Anacostia on DVD.
yeah,
if you're
season
gonna do
6
that.
looks like it's going to be the final year, more than likely. So we're going to be wrapping some things up. So you might get 10 episodes, you might get 15. I don't know. But however it is, it looks like it's going to be the last year because I think everyone wants to move on to other things.
Okay.
So look, you heard it here. You heard it from him, and Emmy confirmed it. We're about to go and pop some bottles because we do have champagne in the refrigerator.
We do
So
have
we're gonna
some.
celebrate. I'm gonna pick up my tree because I am taking it back out to Christmas. So I pick my tree
That's
up.
why you see the price is still on it.
Leave it alone. No one needs to
He
know.
really gonna take it. You tucked it just like you tuck it in there. Okay.
And Keith Angelo, Keith, I hope you won
Keith?
tonight.
Yes,
I
Keith.
hope you won tonight,
Yes.
Keith. I hope you won
I
tonight.
hope you won too.
We won't find out until 2 a.m. because that award show goes real long.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Keith, call us.
Keith, post this.
We'll talk to you Tuesday.
Right.
Don't call us. Post that.
Right.
Post
You
that.
call me, Keith.
Post it. Don't worry about calling. Just post it, and we'll follow from there. Same thing we're gonna do on the 26th.
Right.
26th, I'll be waking up at midnight like, shit, it ain't here. Set the alarm that y'all just heard. It ain't here. 1 o'clock. I'm be watching the entire time.
This is gonna
We
be
should do like a raffle or something. Like,
it's gonna be around 5
Let's
a.m.
do a watch party.
Let's do a watch party.
A watch party? Hell no, he ain't give out a definite time.
I said, that's right. They could be on here all day.
I would give you a time. It'll be December 26th at 8 a.m.
Woo!
Oh no, make it a mystery.
It'll be December 26th at 8 a.m.
Okay, December 26th.
Maybe.
Okay, so you just saved my pockets.
Maybe.
I was gonna have a raffle where somebody can like guess the time that it's gonna come out, and then if you get it right, then you get a gift. Actually, you get a tree for next year. Should I have to pay for it? So I can pay it.
Hilarious.
Anyway, look, this newbie, that's Kym, this is Mr. Anderson, and of course Miss Emmy. We gotta give her props. Look, we're out of here. Take care.
Bye.